You need the following tools. This is what I used to fix the treadmill. So I had a crowbar, just a regular Phillips head screwdriver. For this particular model of treadmill, I needed a 13mm socket. I tried the 5/32 Allen wrench. You don't need this if your belt is already tight, but this is to tighten your belt. And then preferably, if you have another 13mm socket or a box end wrench would be best, but I didn't have that, so I used a vice grip for the other side of the nuts to unscrew it. So these are the tools you will need, and let's get started. Hello my friends, ETPC here. I got the Westlow Cadence R 5.2 treadmill here, and it was slipping, so it would be running on it or whatever, and it would just be skipping as you're trying to walk it with the belt wouldn't move, and it was pretty annoying and quite dangerous actually. So I was like, maybe tighten up the belt a little bit. So I'll show you how to do that. I thought that's one of two things that could be going wrong here. So what you want to do with that, if the belt's a little loose, if you can get your hand up under here, but this is pretty tight, so it wasn't actually the belt. So anyways, if yours is loose, so you can get your arm like up underneath there and it's kind of floppy, that's not good. So what you want to do is you want to take yourself an Allen wrench, and these fellas right here. Let's see if I can't figure out which one it is. Alright, so for this particular treadmill, it's a 5/32 Allen wrench. And what you want to do is at the end of the treadmill, there is this hole here. And in there it has a place for the Allen wrench to go in. And then to tighten it, you turn it clockwise. And to loosen it, you would turn it the other way. So I turn mine clockwise a little bit. See if we can see the Allen wrench in there. So that's how you tighten the belt. So if that's not the case and it's still slipping, which I tightened mine and it got all, it's nice and tight there. It was still slipping, so we'd be running on it, and you're like when you step down, it's like skipping, and it was quite dangerous actually. So that didn't fix the problem. So I'm going to show you what I did to actually fix the problem. So what you have here on this particular model is you have a regular Phillips head screw here, one on each, and obviously one on the other side over there. And then you have three, which is one right here in the front, one right here, and one right here. So those are what we need to remove. I'm going to do that real quick. Obviously, I'm going to unplug that real quick, and I'll show you what we're looking at here. Okay, so here's the last screw, and these aren't straight in. You're not going to try to screw it unscrew it straight in, because the screw actually goes up at an angle. So if you're unscrewing these, you're going to have to tilt it up at an angle, the screwdriver, more towards the floor. So this is the final screw. Okay, there's 5 of them, 3 on the front and 1 on each side. What you want to do is now, this just pulls right off of there. Okay, so what I did to fix mine was this belt here was what was skipping. It's still in good condition, but it was loose. This was like flopping really. So this particular motor, it's held on here with this bracket here. So this bracket has these sliding, it's able to slide though. So and that can either tighten or loosen the belt depending on where this thing is at. So I'm going to show you what I did here. Let me grab my tools. And let's get back over here, shall we? I believe, yes. So So on this particular model, you got a 13mm socket that fits each one of these. Now I didn't happen to have a box end wrench to fit on the other one, so what I did was I used some vice grips to actually clamp onto the nut there on this side, and then I used my thing to unscrew them here. So this obviously is not the best tool. If you do have the proper tool, then that is preferable. If you have a box end wrench or another socket or something like that, which is actually fits and specifically designed for it. I didn't have that, so like I said, I just clamped onto this bad boy with the vice grips and then unscrewed it. So what I did, I'm not going to do it because it was kind of a hassle, but I'm going to tell you what I did do. So I loosened this, so it was loose. Also this one here, and this one, let's see if we can see that, it's kind of dark. Okay, yes, this one here as well, okay? Once these were loose, this whole assembly could just slide up and down. Okay, so it would I would be able to move this. And now what I did, I took my crowbar here, and this was because you need to put tension on the motor while you tighten this back up, so this isn't loose. So the belt, let's see if we can get the belt there. Why is it not showing me the belt? Okay, let's get it from this side. So you don't want your belt to be flopping around. See how this is nice and taut? It's tight. Mine was basically it had like this much wiggle room in it, and that's why it was slipping. So what I did was I got on this side of the deal, and I took my crowbar, and with that, basically, let's see, it was this way. So if you can see, I put this, where it's leveraging is against the frame right here, not against the motor, but against the frame part, and against this screw here. And I actually applied pressure in this, like towards myself here, okay? And then by pulling it towards yourself, you're forcing, as these will rotate, this will go up a little bit, and that'll move the motor away from the main part, which actually gives you tension. Once these are loosened up, you'll see that you can squeeze this together and it'll move this one, it'll move it this way, okay? So when we're pulling back on this, it's moving it up, this whole frame thing up this way, which in turn is making it tighter on the belt. So what I did, it was a little difficult for one person. If you had another hand, it would be awesome. But basically what I did was, with my left hand, I just pulled back on this, and you can see by pulling back here and with this tension going against the screw here, it's pushing the motor assembly this way, which is tightening the belt. So the belt is really tight now, and that's what you want. So I pulled this with one hand. Let's see if I can put the camera down here, demonstrate what I did here. So pulling back, and then while I was having tension on this, and you don't want to pull back super hard, but just hard enough so if you would pull back on it and then feel the belt to make sure it's nice and tight there. So that's what I did. If you can have someone hold back on your crowbar a little bit while you tighten it, basically you want this one tightened up, and then these two screws, obviously the three that are making it allow it to slide or not freely. So that's what I did. and now the treadmill doesn't slip anymore. It works great. Make sure that you're unplugged from here before you start doing anything messing with the electrical or getting around the motor, because the wires are open here. So that's what I did, and it's a pretty easy fix. If one person can do it, like I said, but if you have an extra hand, if you have someone to either tighten the screws for you while you're applying pressure to the crowbar, or vice versa, someone, you know what I mean. It's not rocket science, but it just some things are easier with two people. So that's how I fixed it, and it wasn't easy. I mean, if you have basic skills, I'm no genius or anything, so I was able to do it. So I'm sure you can too. So that's how I fixed the treadmill from slipping, and so far it's been working great. Just from use, every time you're running on this thing, it's just pulling back on this a little bit, so it can loosen or allow it to slip forward a little bit. Over time, I'm sure that's what happened to mine. So that's how you fix that. So thanks for watching. I appreciate it. Hope this solves your guys' problem too. This is the Westlow model of treadmill. I'm sure, well, I guess I shouldn't say I'm sure, but probably similar items have adjustments like this as well, similar brands. So thanks for watching this video on how to fix your treadmill from slipping.